In the never-ending scandals that involves the Kardashians, today we talk about the one we thought was least problematic. Watch until the end to figure out what Kendall has to say. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to get your dose of celebrity. Now onto the video. The popular family is probably very sick of the spotlight by now, but they definitely have a hand in that. Kendall Jenner, dubbed the least problematic of the Kardashian-Jenner family, is now once again entering rocky territory for racism accusations. But before we dive deeper into that, let's start with the basics. The American model, socialite, and media personality is the daughter of former Olympic decathlete Bruce Jenner, now known as Caitlyn Jenner, and television personality and businesswoman Kris Jenner. From the get-go, we know Kendall was practically lodged into a life of luxury, spotlights, and fame, seeing as she grew up with her half-sisters Kourtney, Kim, and Khloe, who were all pretty much being swarmed by the paparazzi following the infamous Kim Kardashian and Ray J scandal way back in 2002. The immediate fame Kim had gained was enough for them to launch their own hit reality television show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I know pretty well that we've all seen it. Yes, including you, watcher. I mean, why else would you be here, right? Moving forward, in the show we see that they are your typical rich and luxurious family, except their activities are mostly motivated by ratings and such. I won't dive deeper into what goes on in that show, because if I'm being honest, it'll take a whole different video. So in case I ever do a video like that, make sure to click that red subscribe button and the bell icon so you get updated with our latest videos. Now that we're pretty much caught up on our homework with basic Kardashian information, we move on to the man, or rather, a woman of the hour, Kendall Jenner. Being on KUWTK means that she is no stranger to scandals and the ravaging eyes of the media. But we're still wondering why she can't do damage control. We don't know if it's her chill behavior, but instead of catching fire, Kendall prefers to dodge it, making it even worse. She's pretty well known for avoiding criticism directed towards her and giving statements a little too late or none at all. This was pretty evident when in 2016, a whole culturally appropriated fiasco happened in a Marc Jacobs runway. The runway was called out for cultural appropriation, seeing as Jacobs had blatantly decided not to cast more black models, but showcased a hairstyle that was closely associated with black culture, dreadlocks. Jenner was one of the models in the said fashion show and even posted a photo of her in dreadlocks on Instagram. The designer himself made several apology statements regarding the incident, but the people have yet to see one coming from the popular model herself. To this day, the post can still be found on Instagram. This isn't the only case the Jenner model was involved in seemingly insensitive and problematic content. And although most of these cases are highly publicized, keep watching to know more juicy gossip about the older Jenner sister. And while you're at it, click that like button if you've enjoyed the video so far. Like we've said, Kendall prefers to ignore constructive and hateful criticism alike, but in the Times, she's actually addressed these comments. She would say she didn't intend for these things to happen and that she didn't know it was offensive. But by now, she should be more sensitive and aware of her actions, because she's received tons of constructive criticism, dating back to 2015 when she and her sister Kylie made a racist vine. The short-form video hosting service was all the rage 6 years ago, and as teenagers blossoming into their fame, the Jenner sisters also threw their hats into the ring and posted a couple of their own. Unfortunately, they threw in quite a scandalous hat. In 2015, Kendall and Kylie made their own little skit that featured Justin Bieber and a few other Vine stars like Rudy Mancuso, King Bach, and Jerry Perpdrank. We all know it was made with the intent to make people laugh, but instead it made people cringe. In the video, we see these men present themselves in front of the sisters as if they were in a party or something. The Canadian pop star's background music was country, followed by Mancuso that set off Latin guitar strumming, then King Bach with generic hip-hop music, and lastly, when Perpdrank came out, Grab My Gun by the Notorious B.I.G. played. All is seemingly well when Bieber comes out and the girls ignore him completely, but a pattern soon arises as we visibly see their interest in these men growing as their skin tones darken. The video ends with Perpdrank coming out and the sisters acting like some savage beasts overtaken with hunger, moving towards him. Ashley Reese, a writer from Jezebel, said, and I quote, "It only took a 6-second video to summarize the problem so many observers have had with the Kardashian-Jenner clan ever since they became household names. The ease in which they exploited blackness, lampooned black people, borrowed from black American culture only to mock and trivialize it when it became convenient. Kylie was only 17 and Kendall was 19. but this should have been a cautionary tale to these young public figures. We're just really sick of all the excuses, to be honest. No less than 2 years after that Vine incident, the sisters have once again been the topic of public scrutiny when they pulled a T-shirt scandal that was highly described as disgusting and disrespectful. In 2017, Kendall and Kylie released T-shirts that featured their faces superimposed over images of iconic musicians, no less than the Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, and Ozzy Osbourne themselves. Notorious B.I.G.'s mother, Voletta Wallace, herself weighed in on the subject, posting on her Instagram account, "I am not sure who told Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner that they had the right to do this. The disrespect of these girls to not even reach out to me or anyone connected to the estate baffles me. I have no idea why they feel they can exploit the deaths of Tupac and my son Christopher to sell a t-shirt. This is disrespectful, disgusting, and exploitation at its worst." Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of this incident, and whether or not you guys actually bought those shirts. I just want to know. This incident followed one of the most controversial Kardashian-Jenner scandals to date, her infamous Pepsi ad. Although Pepsi has apologized for the ad, Kendall was swamped with backlash all over social media way back in 2017. The Pepsi commercial featuring the Jenner supermodel shows an ongoing protest where all the protesters were joyously gathering, until Kendall was seen emerging from the crowd offering a police officer a can of Pepsi. This interaction caused for a raucous applause and faces of approval that signaled the end of their protest. The ad was heavily criticized for being tone-deaf, and Jenner was harshly bashed on social media for even accepting such a campaign. The campaign was a far cry from the actual happenings of protests against police brutality, discrimination, and many more, which insulted and angered many activists. The executive director of the Marsha P. Johnson Institute and a former Black Lives Matter organizer says that, and I quote, "The ad plays down the sacrifices people have historically taken in utilizing protests." Many also took to Twitter to share their thoughts on the ad, including Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, Bernice King. Her tweet had a picture of her father facing police officers back in the day, with the caption, "If only Daddy would have known about the power of Pepsi." The ad came out in April, yet no apology was heard from Kendall until October later that year. Talk about dodging bullets. Jenner's latest backlash is from her new business venture in the form of tequila. The model has released her new brand of best-tasting tequila called 818, and despite backlash from the Latino and Mexican-American communities, this is actually on brand for her, seeing as Kardashian-Jenners are famous for profiting off of other cultures and for repeating cultural appropriation scandals. So, we aren't as surprised. The icing on top of the cake was her promotional video that showcased her riding a horse through agave fields and sitting in the back of a pickup petting a stray dog. Kendall is stuck in the same insensitive loop, receiving criticism from people all over social media, and instead of addressing them, she actually just turned off comments on that post. So how did Kendall Jenner really respond to accusations of cultural appropriation? The correct answer might be just like last time. None today, but who knows in the next 6 months, right? Which is exactly why you should click like and subscribe to keep updated on our upcoming videos. Who knows, one of them might be about Kendall's public apology. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts. Bye!